Hey there, podcast listeners. Are you ready to take your game day to the next level? I'm excited to announce that I've partnered with SeatGeek as their newest brand ambassador. That's right, I'm officially royally quacking about this awesome collaboration. SeatGeek is your go to platform for finding the best deals on your tickets to all your favorite events. From concerts to sports, they've got you covered. And as a special thank you to my listeners, use code RoyallyQuacked. That's right, you can use it in all caps, RoyallyQuacked, for $20 off your first SeatGeek order. So what are you waiting for? Grab your friends, score some awesome tickets, and go make some unforgettable memories together. Thank you for SeatGeek for making it happen.
Welcome back, Royally Quack fans. We've got an exciting podcast here for you guys today. We're going to be talking about our prospect pools for both the Ducks and the Mighty Ducks and the Kings. Anyways, I've been waiting all week for this. You don't know how much fun we're having doing this. I hope you guys can hear it in our voices.
Yeah,
Well, Cody, how are you today?
I'm doing great. I always love doing this, and I'm glad we started this. It's been fun every week.
Well, it was your idea to start.
Yes.
My idea for us to do it together, kind of.
Yep.
And I think we both bring our specialty to it. So
Specialty?
Yeah, you know, I'm wacky and crazy, and
that's for sure.
And you are technical. A lot more technical than I am. So
yeah, and I'm not even that technical.
Well, you're more technical than I am. So
well, let's just say YouTube's been a very big help. All right. So to start off with the podcast, we're gonna start off with some sad news. I just want to bring it up before we start everything, and we lost two very young lives this past week in the hockey world, and it was so sad to hear this news. Matthew and Johnny Gaudreau passed away earlier this week while they were riding bikes together, and they got hit by a drunk driver. So everyone, put out your sticks and just remember everything, what Johnny and Matthew brought to the game together, because they played college hockey together. I believe they won a national championship in college together, if I remember right. So, but before we start the podcast, we would like to do a 13-second moment of silence in remembrance of Johnny and Matthew Gaudreau.
During this 13 seconds, everyone, you can pray for the Gaudreau family. Yeah, have good thoughts about Johnny and Matthew. Great players. And sad also to say, let's not ever drive drunk.
Yes.
If you're going to drink, get an Uber, have a designated driver. It's just sad to lose young lives like that. So, Cody, let us know when you want to start that 13 seconds.
All right. We'll start right now. All right. Well, like I said, I don't know. Did you have any very fond memories of Matthew or Johnny? I have one that cracks me up every time I think about it.
Why don't you go ahead and start with that?
You and I were coming home from umpiring, and this is when we were playing fantasy hockey. I think you might remember this.
Okay.
I remember I had Johnny Gaudreau on my fantasy team, and they were playing. It was the Ducks and Flames were playing that night, and I think I was playing you. I think, and Johnny scored a goal to start, pretty much within the first 5 minutes of the game or something. And I just remember I was like, yes, but like it was like a yes and a damn it at the same time because I was like, yes, Johnny scored, and damn it, but he scored on the Ducks. I don't know why. I always remember that.
That wouldn't have been that one of the times we lost like by a half a point to each other,
Oh my
was it?
god. No, no, it
We had a
wasn't that
couple of
week.
those.
Oh god. So what my dad's saying is one time me and him were playing against each other in fantasy hockey.
Was
I
it the championship?
No, it wasn't. No.
No, okay.
And it was I was kicking his ass the whole week. I didn't talk nothing. I didn't even say, "Hey, I'm beating you." Nothing. I don't do that. And my dad's the one that brought it up. He's, I'm surprised you're not saying anything. I was like, because it's not over till it's over. And I was beating him by like, what, 70, 80 points?
All I know is I thought it was over.
And sure enough, the Ducks and Kings are playing the last game on Sunday night. And my dad had Ricard Raquel on his team. Ricard Raquel scores the game-winning goal in overtime, I believe, against the Kings. And that game-winning goal, because you get points for a game-winning goal too, that gave him an extra point to beat me by literally half a point for the week. So he ended up winning the whole week just off of that. Pretty much that one goal to. It was like a 7 or I want to say it was like a 5-point goal because of the game-winning goal and everything like that.
Yeah, I don't remember what the points were for that in that season, but
so yeah,
I was probably doing the same thing. Yes and no, you beat the Kings. So we both had those kind of moments.
Yeah,
but yeah, I just remember the fantastic last season he had with Calgary.
Yeah,
and I mean, I'm just sitting there going, wow. I mean, both teams just kind of exploded back and forth. You know, Johnny going away with Kachuk going away because he went to Florida, and Florida sent a bunch of guys back to Calgary. And I thought Calgary won that trade.
I did too.
And nothing could be further from the truth, is we all saw what Florida's been able to do the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And Calgary hasn't even been in the playoffs, which was a shock to me. So,
yeah.
But I always remember Johnny. He was always a classy guy on the ice.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he wasn't one of the guys that, I mean, I'm sure they all trash talk on the ice, but we don't hear most of that. But he would always be such a gentleman in his interviews and everything. What a great guy.
And it really tells you that size isn't anything for hockey, because
he was 5'9".
Yeah, and so someone posted a video on TikTok or Instagram, which I totally forgot this happened. I forgot which All-Star game it was, but you know how they have like the shootout with the goalie who could do the best trick shot, you know. And so one of the guys, I guess, brought out his son or some guy's son, and you know, kind of like helped him score the goal and everything like that. I think it was someone on the Columbus, I think, brought out his son to score the goal. So Jason Voracek came out. He stopped the puck. I skated back and got Johnny Gaudreau, and then did the same thing, but with Johnny because he was so small. You got to look it up. It's so funny. But yeah, I forgot about that until someone reposted that. I was like, oh, I forgot that happened. But
yeah, well, that's just some sad news in hockey. We're going to try to get we did our moments of silence for him. We want to move on and try to make this more of not a sad podcast, but you know, Johnny would want us to move on. He loved hockey.
He was always fun to watch too.
He was always fun to watch. So we're going to move on. What are we going to do first, Cody?
Trivia question.
Okay. This is kind of, let's see if you can get it. First of all, how many times have the Ducks and the Kings won the MVP for the All-Star game?
MVP.
And could you tell me who they were? And if you're really awesome, what year it happened? I don't expect the year, because that would be awfully hard. But how many players have won MVP in the All-Star game? If you need help, I can give you a slight bit of help on that.
Okay. So you're telling me at least they've won one each, minimum.
I could say yes. They've won at least one each.
If I had to guess for the Ducks, I'm guessing it would have had been Timu Solani.
Correct. Mussolini is one.
And I want to say there was another one.
What, for the Ducks?
Yeah, or is that it?
Well, to save you from going any further in your
That's it. Okay.
the synapses in your brain, I don't want them to explode.
Okay.
There was only one.
All right, hold on. I'm going to see if I can get the year. I want to say it was 1998.
I'm going to give it was the year of 97-98. Solani won the MVP.
Well,
Correct.
but the All-Star game wasn't technically in 98. So cuz they always played in the second half of the year, so.
True. But season 97-98.
Okay. Cuz I just remember I think that's when he just came over, or just before he after he came over.
So would you have an answer for the Kings?
For the Kings, I'm going to say 3 times?
No.
No? More or less?
Less.
1 time?
1 time.
Let me guess, Gretzky.
It was Gretzky.
And so I'm going to say 92, 93.
Nope.
Am I close?
No, it wasn't your birth year.
Or was it my birth year?
It was another family's member's birth year, though.
Oh, 88, 89.
88, 89. Your sister's birth year. 89, of course.
Okay.
So there's your...
I couldn't remember when he was on the Kings because I wasn't even alive at that time, so...
You know what? You did really well. Very, very... I could say I'm a proud dad that you did that well.
Because I do remember seeing something just after Solani came to the Ducks with him in the... Because they were talking about with him and Korea being at the All-Star game together, and I remember I was like, I know he won one. I just didn't know if he won it with the Ducks or not. And that's what I'm saying. I think it was that year because they talked about that year the most.
Yeah. Well, it's not an easy thing to win.
No.
I mean, it really isn't. You don't have a lot of multiple winners.
Yeah.
You know, so... Anyways.
Okay. All right. We're going to move on to news, right?
Yeah. Which news do you want to start with?
We'll start with yours. We'll go with the Kings first.
Go with the Kings news. Okay. You know, Cody's always talking about where the games are going to be, so I'm going to try to give you my best update on where we can listen and watch the Kings this next season. And there has been a change. Radio broadcast will be on ESPN LA app and also ESPN LA 710. So you'll need the ESPN LA app or dial into 710 for the games because not all of them are on 710. I think it might grow as the season goes on. And then as far as TV goes, they're going to have 13 national TV broadcast games. 6 games on ESPN, 5 games on TNT, True TV Max, and 2 games on ESPN Plus Hulu. And I think we still have a contract with Bally's for another season.
I think you guys are still on Bally's.
What I just don't know is that going to last for a season? Because, I mean, there's only a few teams that really have contracts with them anymore that are still viable.
Yeah.
So then on to number changes. We had number changes this year. And possibly some of it, you know, we're going to be talking about maybe some of these guys too, and in the prospects part of it. But Alex Turcotte is moving from number 38 to number 15 this year. Samuel Dagimo he's going to be going to 19. I don't remember he's played a few NHL games, what the number was there. But I think he was a much larger number for the Reign, but he's going to be going to 19, which I think was Alex Iafalo's old number. Alex Laferriere is going to go from 78 to number 14. And then Tanner Janot will be number 10. Kyle Burrows will be number 7. And Warren Fogle is going to be number 37. And Joel Edmondson, number 6. So
Nice.
all those guys have got new numbers. And if there's any questions that you guys have in regarding the Kings, if you get them to us by the message on Facebook or Messenger or emails, however you want to do that, we'll try to get those answers for the questions for the Kings for you. Let's move on to the Mighty Duck news.
All right. So I'm going to talk about my second one first because the first one's going to take a little bit longer. And they kind of go together anyways. So the Anaheim Ducks have 4 national televised games this year on either TNT or Hulu or ESPN Plus. The 4 games will be on Tuesday, February 4th versus Dallas. That one will be on ESPN Plus. Wednesday, March 12th at Utah. That one will be on TNT. Tuesday, April 10th in Los Angeles.
Go Kings, go.
Hey, this is Ducks news. There's none of that. That one will be on ESPN Plus. And then Sunday, April 13th versus Colorado. That one will also be on ESPN. So those are the 4 national televised games that's for this year. Now to the most exciting news. And I'd say this is the second best thing the Ducks have done this offseason, which is a good thing and a bad thing at the same time. So all local Ducks TV broadcasts will now be 100% free on all devices on the streaming app called Victory Plus. An all-new sports streaming service. It will carry all live broadcasts on a dedicated Ducks channel that will feature exclusive shows and content. The Victory Plus streaming service is 100% free to fans in the local LA Orange County demographic. But that's also including, I believe they said, San Bernardino County, Riverside County, San Diego County, Orange County, LA County.
Southern California.
Yeah, pretty much all of Southern California and Hawaii.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's 100% free. So
awesome.
All I pray is if this app is better than the Bally Sports app, because that Bally Sports app was on the phone was complete trash. It would crash constantly on me in the middle of a play, in the middle of time and everything. It would just stop.
So what you're saying to all the Kings fans, the app's going to crash.
Well, I'm pretty sure everyone's experienced it before too.
Yeah, a little bit here and there. I didn't have too much problems with it though.
But you watched it at home, right?
Sometimes, but I'd also watch it on my phone.
Oh.
You know, if I was eating dinner and I was driving that night.
I don't know. It just crashed on me all the time, even at home sometimes. But to go more on it, the Ducks have partnered with a parent media company, APMC, owner of Victory Plus and Fox 11 Plus, and the games will also be on KCOP Channel 13 as well. To stream and televise all regional Ducks games free of charge, beginning with this upcoming season, all local games will be available to stream on the newly formed sports network, Victory Plus, a free direct-to-consumer streaming service created for Ducks fans by APMC. The agreement with Fox 11 Plus will include 65 Ducks games over-the-air television. As a result, locally broadcast Ducks games will be 100% of the Los Angeles regional market entirely free to all fans. So
That's awesome.
I know this is, like I said, the second best thing that's happened this offseason. The first thing is obviously the rebrand, the new uniform, the new logo, all that.
Yeah, what they we talked about it after the party. They're going to be rebranding the entertainment value in the pond.
Yeah,
So
the in-game experience.
the in-game experiences, and I think both teams have done that, because that's one reason the Kings are playing 7 road games to start the season this next season. They're because Staples Center, I know it has another name, but it's still Staples Center to me, is going through something similar. I don't know if it's as good as what, because I got to tell you, the president of the Ducks, he made it sound incredible.
So also, Ducks fans, if you want more information on it, go on Duckstream, and they just did an interview with the president of the Ducks, Aaron Teets, and he talked about that a little bit too.
Awesome.
But yeah, so Victory Plus will be available for download on smart TVs, tablets, and smartphones this September. So you can't download it yet because I tried.
Well, it is September.
Oh.
It is. We are recording. It's
September 1st. Yeah,
September 1st. But then again, when in September exactly?
Yeah, it doesn't exactly say. And it's saying ensuring fans outside the Ducks regional territory will still be able to enjoy Victory Plus to watch robust menu of additional content provided by the team.
I will definitely be downloading the app.
Oh, I'm definitely. And then
I love hockey.
So they were also saying on the Victory Plus as well, they'll have like a DVR kind of, or a on-demand thing. So after 72, I believe that they'll keep the games on the app for 72 hours.
So you can always watch it later.
You can always go back and watch it later.
If you're like working or whatever. Yeah. So that's awesome.
Yeah, so I'll definitely be doing that, because that's something I know Bally Sports did too. And honestly, that was like the best way to watch it, was just that, because when I try to watch it live, it would always screw up. But when I do that, it didn't screw up.
Well, no, I know. I started watching that thing. What was it? That cast thing. You told me it was like $30 a year. You could get any hockey game.
Oh God, I missed that Streamcast.
I mean, I was watching all the games that way because I never lost it.
I never lost it either, and I got every game.
And I could watch any game I want.
Yeah.
Which to me, it's like, I love hockey, so I'll watch 2 non-California teams play.
Oh yeah.
Especially if it's someone that's fun to watch. So. Anyways, and one other thing about the Kings, I do believe there's some on KCal 9. 4 or 5, maybe 6 games on KCal 9, and I forgot to mention that. So.
Yeah. And then Brian Hayward and John Allers will return. No plan changes. And they're saying that for preseason, they don't know if they're going to have the games on Victory Plus yet. They don't know. But they're still like working out the kinks and everything like that. So if anything, it might be maybe one game. I don't know. But yeah.
Perfect. So on to league news?
On to league news. All right.
Do you want me to start
Let's start this off. And by the way, what I just realized huh? What?
Did you want to start it?
Yeah, I'll start, because I told you this news earlier this week, and it was not the right. It was the right news, but I told you the wrong player. I read it too fast, which is kind of funny because that's his last name. So Hurricanes forward Jesper Fast will miss the entire 2024-2025 season after ongoing successful neck surgery. I thought it said Jesper Bratt when I talked to you on the phone about that.
Yeah, that would have been a huge loss for New Jersey.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a huge loss for Hurricanes, but yeah. I was like, oh.
That's why I didn't get it. I saw Hurricanes, I saw Fast. I'm going like, I'm going to let Cody take number 1. I was hoping you'd take that one.
I messed up when I talked to you this week about that one.
So it is all correct, and you're not crazy. So
I'm not crazy.
I will go on to the second one, which the Kraken have re-signed forward Matty Beniers to a 7-year extension worth $7.14 million AAV. Total value $49.98 million. And for all you Kraken fans, if there are any, although I gotta say I love their uniforms.
Yeah.
He was their first ever draft pick.
Mm-hmm.
So, Locked On Kraken. There's a trivia question you can ask your fans.
Yeah. He was definitely fun to watch when we were there. Not back in 2023 when we went to the game. Beautiful arena, beautiful. Like I said, if you have the chance to go see a Seattle Kraken game live, do it. So, all right. Next bit of news is Blackhawks goaltender Laurent Brossoit is expected to miss the next 5 to 7 weeks after undergoing successful meniscus surgery in his right knee.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah, that is a bummer. But I mean, they still got other goalies that can.
Was he going to be their number one?
I think it was gonna be like a 1A 1B with Mrazek.
Okay, that's a good tandem.
Yeah.
And you're going to see the Blackhawks will be better this year.
Yeah, I think all around. I think this year, even the bad teams will be better than.
It's going to make it more difficult to make the playoffs. Everybody, just going to be honest with you.
Yeah,
more
especially
difficult.
like what the Sharks did, last week, and
yeah, that's true. The Senators have signed forward Nick Cousins to a 1-year contract worth $800,000 AAV. Well, yeah, it's 1 year AAV.
yeah. All right, and then the Hurricanes have re-signed forward Seth Jarvis to an 8-year extension worth $7.9 million AAV. The total amount is $63.2 million over the 8 years.
So which one do you think was the better buy? Beniers, 7 years, $7.14 million per, or Jarvis, 8 years at $7.9 million?
See, that's a tough question because Matty Beniers is like the main player for the Kraken. So like if he doesn't go, they don't go kind of thing. But with Seth Jarvis, he's not the main like go-to person there. It's gonna be Sebastian Aho or I forgot the other guy's name. But yeah, like Seth Jarvis is not the number 1 or number 2, I believe, but Matty Beniers, he is like the number 1, number 2. So I think, in my honest opinion, like the Matty Beniers thing, I think is the better buy, just because.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
a little bit less money, a bit bigger upside because he's still young.
Yeah, I believe they're the same draft year. I can't remember if Seth Jarvis is a 21 or a 22 draft pick. I can't remember. But all right, on to
prospects.
All right. So, how do you want to do this? You want to do? We're gonna do the strength weakness, and then you'll talk about strength and weakness.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll go first. For the Ducks' biggest strength, there might not, and this is according to Daily Faceoff. There might not be another team with as much notable depth in their pipeline as Anaheim. They've got good support centers in Lucas Pettersson and Nathan Gauthier to go along with some of their existing talent. Gauthier and Seneca are both going to be top 6 wingers. Zellweger, Solberg, and Leno and Donicio are all about stout blue liners with their own set of skills. And Damian Clara looks like a future NHL goaltender. That's what happens when you're near the bottom of the standings year after year. But also when you find good value outside of the first round too. And then the biggest weakness is the Ducks have a lot of good centers, but they're missing more natural wingers. I expect Gauthier to move to the wing, but outside of maybe just Seneca, there aren't many others in the system that have a shot of being an impact NHLer. They have some decent options now, but if Trevor Zegras gets moved, snagging a skilled winger in return wouldn't hurt. Which I hope that last part does not happen.
There you go.
Because you can easily move Zegras, or honestly, I didn't even think McTavish would be a good winger too.
Yeah, it's a little bit different things that they have to do.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's really good for a center to be a winger young, so
Yeah.
they can learn the other aspects of the game, which I do believe the Kings have done with Quentin Byfield, and I'm pretty sure we're going to see him as a 2C this next year, but we'll see. We got to go through camp. Was that everything you had, Cody?
Yes, that was everything I had for the weakness and strengths.
Okay. So what I find is our biggest strength was our biggest weakness last season. There's very few teams who can say goaltending is their strength, but the Kings can. They have 3 legitimate goaltending prospects who, for the most part, might project to be backups at best, but having the type of depth at a position where depth can be a complex to come by is huge. All they need is one of them to hit, and 2 gives them options, and 3, massive. Eric Patillo right now has the edge. I mean, he's had a season in the AHL where they went all the way in the Pacific to play Coachella and gave them games. You know, his first season in the AHL, and he did pretty well. But recent draft picks Carter George and Hampton Slukinski are both solid options on their own, although they are a few years away. In the past, the Kings have struggled to develop goaltenders for a long time. I mean, you think about it, Jonathan Bernier was 2006. Quick was 2005. Are the last 2 to play more than 25 games with the Kings after being drafted. That might finally change soon. And on another note, Slukinski, he won goaltender of the year. I think I talked about it on a prior podcast. And in high school, he went, I want to say 39-1. And the only game he lost in high school was the state championship game.
That's crazy.
It's crazy good. Now, what's going to be funny is the biggest weakness used to be a strength. And one reason it's going to be a weakness is they do expect, and we're going to talk about him after this, is Brant Clark. Looks like he's going into full-time duty with the Kings. So the future of the back end is probably going to be like Jacob Dvorak. He's a decent defender, but far from being an NHL caliber defender at this moment. Same goes with Otto Salin. Jared Woolley is brand new, just drafted. They promoted Jordan Spence already, and he's probably going to be, I think, the R2 on defense, the right defender 2 until Clark takes him over. If he does, who knows what's going to happen there. And there's a few other guys that in the prospect pool there, but they don't have anybody but like Moverari that's possible ready to be NHL right now. So those are our strengths and our weaknesses for the Kings. Now we want to get to the prospect pools.
Yep.
You want to start off? Are you going to start off with one? Or are you going to?
I'm going to go the opposite.
Okay.
I'm going to do.
I like that idea. I'm going to do that same thing.
First, I'm going to talk about the people who are not going to, fully talk about, just the honorable mentions.
Okay.
I don't know if your prospect pool has that one as well.
Yeah. Other notables.
Yeah.
Notables is what mine's called.
Yeah.
We'll definitely go over those because there's a couple of those that I'm expecting to be NHL players in the future.
there's a couple that I expect to. So what I'll do is I'm gonna go over my notables real quick, and then I'll talk about my number 10, and then we'll go, and then you can do your.
Okay.
So, all right. Our honorable mentions will be Sasha Pasajov. He's a left winger. He did play with the goals last year. He is 20 years old. Then we also had Niko Majatovic. I believe he was Majatovic the one that was at the flock party with Cutter and Stain and
Yeah, the poor guy.
yeah.
Nobody really barely addressed that poor guy, but he did a good job up there.
I am excited for him though too. So he's a left winger, 19 years old. Noah Warren, the skyscraper defenseman. He's someone excited because he is a right-handed shot defenseman. He should be playing with San Diego this year, I believe. Then we got Colson Petrie, right winger, 19 years old. Kerry Terrence, 19-year-old center. Someone who I'm actually really excited to see is Yegor Sidorov. He had a great last season in juniors. I think he scored like over 40 goals. And let's just say like most of them were highlight reel goals than just goals. So he's someone I'm excited to see. And then someone that we just drafted, Austin Brnevic. And then someone else who I'm excited for, and we probably won't see him till the end of the year because he's has one more year left of college, is Ian Moore. He's a right-handed shot defenseman, so someone who we actually could see at the end of the year. Then we got Wojtek Port, another right-handed shot defenseman, 18 years old. Daryl Ulanskis, left-handed shot defenseman. He's 17 years old. Terrence Smith, another left-handed shot defenseman, 18 years old. And then we got Alexander Blais at center, for 18 years old. And then Ethan Precision, right winger, for 17 years old. So those are the honorable mentions.
Should I just do my?
Yeah.
And then you go 10, then I go 10?
I'm fine with that.
Instead of you doing 10, then me going through that whole thing?
Yep.
Okay. So our other notables is current 2024 draft pick James Reeder at right wing, who is 18. Atu Jamson, right wing, who's 22, that we just signed, I want to say a month or two ago. Caleb Lawrence, right wing, 21. He's got some promise. He's a big guy, and he can skate pretty well. Samuel Helenius, 21. He's a center. He's expected to be a fourth line center sometime in the near future, probably 2-3 years down the line. A name I know you've all heard from the Reign if you're Reign fans, Andre Lee. We might see him this year. He's 23, another big boy. And I want to say this guy was a 6th or 7th round pick, but he's been playing like a first round, second round pick. Ryan Conmee, right wing, 19. They're expecting him to be a player. Kenny Connors, center, 21. Jack Hughes, center.
Wait, Jack Hughes? You got Jack Hughes?
This Jack Hughes' dad is the GM for the Montreal Canadiens.
I know.
Not the same Jack Hughes.
I know.
He's not going to be on the cover of NHL 25, just to put it that way. Jared Wright, right wing, 21. So we got a lot of wingers, Another defender, Angus Booth. He's a left-handed defender. He's 20. Jared Woolley, who I said earlier when I was talking about our weakness, he's one that's expected to come up. He's 19, right-handed defender. Matthew Maney, another right-handed defender who's 19. And then Otto Salin, another right-handed defender who's 20. Another right-handed defender, Jack Sparks, another big boy. He's 20. And then Kirill Kirasov, a left-handed defender, 21. And Braden Doyle, another left-handed defender who's 22. And that's the notable honorable mentions, we might say, on our prospect pool for the Kings.
Yep.
Now on to the Ducks, number 10.
All right, number 10, we got right winger Maxim Massey. We acquired him by the draft. He was the 66th overall pick in the third round in this last year's draft. Massey led Chikumi. I think that's how you say it, but that's a weird name for the team he played for. He led the team with 36 goals and 75 points, using his 6'2" frame to his advantage out there. He was a shot generation machine, registering 5 or more quite often this year. Massey is a good two-way player with good energy. His skating is lacking compared to others this high in the draft, but there's been an improvement over the past 12 months. I do wonder if he's rounded enough to find a spot in the Ducks lineup if he isn't scoring, or if he isn't in a scoring role, though. So, like I said, he's someone that I know was very highly touted. I think he was supposed to go sooner, I believe. I believe he was projected to go like in the 40s, I want to say. And we got him at 66 overall, so I thought that was a great pickup. I'm just trying to pull up his let's see, teams is not pulling up for me. So I'm trying to go on Elite Prospects and try to look him up, but it doesn't want to work. All right, but I'll try to go back. I'll come back to him, but you can go to your number 10 now.
Well, my number 10 is Martin Chromiak. He saw his production increase in his second year with Ontario, although he scored at a similar rate despite playing more games. He has 30 goals through 2 seasons, which isn't bad as a potential depth scorer in the NHL. But I do wonder if he has everything needed to take the next step forward in his game to be more productive in pro. What I'd like to say, we don't have TJ Tynan. Ontario is not going to have Alex Turcotte or Akil Thomas. And possibly, I do believe Samuel Fagimo they're all going to be gone. So he's going to have to take a step up. He's definitely going to have to take a step up. And he has to be more defensively responsible. It seems that might be his biggest area he needs to improve in. But as long as he keeps trying to round out his play, a two-way play is important in hockey, guys. You might love watching these guys score goals. One thing I know, like Zegras before last season, he wasn't much of a defender, and he did improve it last year, but it was hard to really improve too much because he was hurt so often. He would be a great example of someone who needed to fill up his defensive play because his offensive play is sometimes spectacular. Chromiak is not Trevor Zegras, I'm going to tell you that. But he could be a good third line, fourth line player. I think he's going to have that opportunity with Ontario this year. I know they've picked up some other veteran guys, but I don't think they're going to try to hurt their prospects that they want to see move up by, just bringing in people to fill out the roster. So Chromiak it's not boom or bust right now, but he needs to make a step up. And that's number 10 on the prospect list for the Kings, Martin Chromiak.
Just to go back to Maxim Massey, because I knew there was other stuff about him. He did win the U18 World Juniors gold medal. He was the CHL. He was on the CHL All Rookie team, and he was also the CHL Rookie of the Year. He was on the QMJHL Rookie team, the Offensive Rookie of the Year for the QMJHL, and then also Rookie of the Year for the QMJHL. So I believe he was definitely one of the top rookies in the CHL, or he was the top rookie last year for the CHL. So for us to get him at 66 overall is a good pick. All right. Next is our hopefully another future goalie, Damian Clara. Clara became the first drafted and now signed goaltender to ever come out of Italy. Whoop whoop. So there's a lot of people excited to see what he can do. He had a fantastic season with Brennas in the Allsvenskan, I believe that's what it's called. And he's set to share the net with former NHL goaltender Maxim Lagasse in Farsted. He's moving to the SHL. I believe that's the Swedish league. I believe Swedish. Yeah, the Swedish league. This coming season, he's a 6'2" with incredible athleticism. Clara is viewed as one of the best goaltending prospects in the game today. By the time John Gibson eventually leaves, Clara might be ready to make a serious push in the NHL.
Yeah,
and a little bit more.
You have to beat out Dostwall first.
I think the whole thing with NHL, with the whole one goalie playing 60 games, 70 games in a year is kind of gone. So if anything, I think Dostal will probably play. So say if Clara makes it after Gibson leaves, I think it'll be Dostwall will play at like 50, 55.
Dostwall.
What?
You said Dostwall.
No, I know. I said on purpose.
I know.
I could say it so smooth like that too.
Yes, it was very smooth.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But like I said, it would be a good like tandem to have. And yeah, so he'll be playing with Farstad in the SHL this year. He played with Brennas and I believe the smaller league. So he'll be bumping up to a new league this year. I believe he'll also be playing with, I want to say, Rodwin Donicio this year. I believe that's who he's going to be playing with. But yeah, I'm definitely excited for this goalie. He catches left. And let's see, he was the 2023 second round pick, 60th overall, and he is 19 years old. So someone I'm very excited about. So
okay. Right. Just to go back to Martin Chromiak real quick, he was a 5th round pick, 128th overall in 2020. So, I mean, sometimes it's a 5 to 7 year road to get to the NHL, just so if you were curious about this. But number 9 on the Kings prospect list is Jacob Dvorak, left-handed defender. He's 19. Right now he's playing at Swift Current of the WHL. He was the 54th overall pick in the second round in 2023. He started the year playing against men in the top Czech league, but joined the Broncos, which is Swift Current, in January. And he adjusted well quickly to the smaller ice and showing some good speed and his 6'5" frame that makes him so difficult to beat. I think he's mobile for his frame, and he also kills penalty well for his age. He will be a shutdown defenseman if he makes the NHL, which I think is still a bit of a long shot until he develops a more offensive side. Even though you're considered a defensive defenseman, you still have to have some offensive skill. You have to be able to get the puck out of your own end, that's what they're talking about. He also needs to make better decision making with the puck, but I think we're at a point in his development where the Kings should be pleased for now. They're talking highly about Jacob Dvorak. So somebody to look forward to see in probably 3 years more. He'll probably be in the AHL for 2 or 3 more years. And that's number 9 for the Kings.
All right. Number 8 for the Ducks, someone who I just talked about, Rodwin Donicio, left-handed shot defenseman, 20 years old. He was drafted number 129th overall in the 5th round, which I think is a steal. Dinicio had a massive year in the OHL, registering 25 goals and 73 points to go along with 108 penalty minutes between the Windsor Spitfires and the Saginaw Spirit. He won the Memorial Cup after registering a point per game between the playoffs and the tournament itself. Dinicio was one of the top defensemen at the World Juniors, although Switzerland was eliminated in the quarterfinal. An overage draft pick last year, Dinicio has come a long way already. He is set to begin his pro career in Switzerland next year. Maybe we'll see him make the move to San Diego the following year before potentially challenging for an NHL roster at 22 years old. Either way, I like him. Let's see more about him. Actually, it's not going to be Dinicio. It's who I'm thinking about is Solberg. That's who's going to play with Clara this year. So Dinicio is done playing in the Canadian Juniors League, but he's going to play in Switzerland and play professional over there, which I think is a good move for him. You know, he'd be playing with men over there. I know it's not one of the. I want to say it's a top 5 league, I believe, top 6, top maybe 7. So, but he'd be playing with men over there. So, and he'll get used to, playing with, older players and everything like that. And I believe it's a pretty physical game over there too. So we'll see. I think that's a good move for him to go over there, and work out his game over there than being in San Diego. So, and let's see, does he have any? And, and the one thing he has is the Memorial Cup champion highlight. So, all right, that is it for number 8, Rodwin Dinicio.
So number 8 for the Kings prospect pool, Francisco Pinelli, center, 21. He played in the AHL last year for Ontario, although he was he didn't always dress because they had a pretty veteran presence on the Ontario Reign last year. He did have a quiet first year in the AHL. He did score 13 goals and 20 points, which is nothing to shake a stick at. And I think he proved he can still shoot the puck as well as he did with Kirchner in the OHL. Pinelli has good puck control. He uses it to set up his teammates easily, while also making it hard to take the puck off of him. He's quite smart, allowing himself to win one-on-one battles against faster, stronger opponents. We need to see him get more engaged at both ends next season as he looks to bump his output while giving the Kings more of a reason to believe he's versatile enough for the next level. And I think he's going to have that opportunity with the Reign this next year. He was a 42nd overall pick in the 2nd round in 2021. Kings still feel highly about him, but this is going to be, I'm not going to say that make and break or boom or bust year, but it's close to that for him. He needs to make a step up, start showing them the improvement. So that's number 8 with the Kings prospect pool, Francisco Pinelli, and he will be playing for the Reign this year.
All right. My number 7, I believe. Yep, 7. Tristan Luneau, right-handed shot defenseman, 20 years old, and he's currently with the San Diego Gulls in the AHL. So he was drafted 53rd overall in the 2nd round in 2022. Last year was a bit of a mixed bag for Luneau, who saw himself limited to just 13 games played between Anaheim and San Diego. Injuries meant the push to the pro game was hampered heavily, which was a shame given he played well enough to start the year with the Ducks, so he'll go back to playing some catch-up next year in his draft plus 1 year with Gatineau was so but his draft plus year with Gatineau was so good that he earned a top defensive honors in the QMJHL. So that year he was the number one center in the QMHL that year, because I think that was the year the Ducks had all three, the OHL, the WHL, and the QMHL top defensive players. I think it was Luneau, Zellweger, and Minchikov for the top. But yeah, like I know Luneau did look good in the few games he was in with Anaheim and San Diego. They let him go back to juniors because they wanted him to play in the World Juniors tournament like right after Christmas, but he ended up getting an infection in his knee or something like that, so he hasn't played since then. So he lost a lot of playing time last year. So hopefully he's 100% ready to go, and he's going to look to push to play for a lot of minutes for San Diego, or maybe eventually or maybe if he's played good enough in I don't know if he's going to be in rookie camp or not. We'll double check that hopefully next week, or make a really good impression in preseason. Maybe he can make another little stint with the Ducks, but we'll see. But I'm just excited because he is a really good right-handed shot defenseman. He is an offensive defenseman and a puck-moving defenseman. He was on the CHL second All-Star team, QMHL All-Rookie, Defensive Player of the Year for the QMJHL, Defensive Rookie of the Year for the QMJHL. He was on the QMJHL first team and also Rookie of the Year for the QMJHL. So someone I'm really excited to watch because, like I said, even though he was really young last year, he looked really good with the Ducks, the limited time he did have. So, all right, that is number 7, Tristan Luneau.
So my number 7, I've already spoke a little bit about Hampton Slukinski, goalie, 19. He'll be playing at Western Michigan University, NCAA this year. Another goalie, holy moly. Almost makes me think of holy moly guacamole for whatever, the King's Power, or no, the
No,
Ducks
that's the
Power
Ducks.
Play. Ducks Power Play.
It's penalty kill.
Is it the
It's
penalty
the penalty
kill?
kill because we heard
Oh,
that.
it's JMG Power Play,
Yeah,
right?
JMG power play and the holy guacamole penalty kill.
I gotta say,
Because we heard, trust me, we heard 5 times as many holy guacamoles than the JMGs last season. Okay, so I think I would know.
yes, I think you should know.
Yes.
Now, the funny thing is, he's 6'1", and that's considered small. But he is an incredible battler and was just named the USHL Goalie of the Year after leading the league with a 923 save percentage. He also was a big part of Fargo's championship run and won bronze with the USA at the World Junior A Challenge. So he's already had to play in some significant games in his early career. Not to mention, like I said, he was 39-1 the year before that in high school. Only game he lost his senior year in high school was a state championship game. And it was a small school that he came from. You know, people say his lack of size won't help him, but I think he has a chance to be a workhorse for Western Michigan while showing his trademark quickness and ability to read shooters in one-on-one scenarios. So, I mean, I know I'm probably going to talk about Carter George, but one thing they said about Carter George, and I think I'd say it about Slukinski, they have the it factor. I mean, how tall is UC Saros?
I want to say he's 5'10", 5'11".
Okay, just got an 8-year, almost $8 million contract.
7.74.
Yeah, almost $8 million contract per year. You do not have to be tall if you play. I mean, and we just talked about, God rest his soul, Johnny Gaudreau, 5'9", and the guy scored 115 points in one season. Size only matters if you're not talented. Well, I think Suzinski's talented. He, to me, might be that extra special goalie. I mean, I know it's a gut feeling I have about him. I'm not going to say that Portillo or Carter George aren't going to be great too. They might all be great. What a problem to have.
Mm-hmm.
We got three great goalies. When's the last time the Kings had three great goalies?
Well, they did have some, but they traded them away because they all wanted minutes. But Jonathan Quick was going to be the number one no matter
Well, you're
what.
talking about Martin Jones,
Martin
and
Jones, Bernier.
well, Bernier was traded earlier though.
Oh, there was another one.
There was, and I can't think of his name right now. I'm with you on that.
We'll continue, and I'll try to. I'll try to.
We'll try to figure
out.
that one out. So,
UC Saros is 5'11".
Yeah, so he's 2 inches taller than UC Saros, who got an 8-year big contract for a goalie. So that doesn't deter me at all. Look how big Mookie Betts is, and look how good he is in baseball.
Yeah, that's very true.
And that's number 7 for the Kings prospect pool. The Hammer. We're going to call him the Hammer.
The Hammer. Sorry, that just reminded me of Major League 2. Hey, Black Hammer. Sorry.
Oh, we're talking about Willie Mays Hayes.
Willie Mays Hayes.
Him and what's his name in that movie?
Yeah.
I love those movies.
Oh God, I quote those movies way too much.
Yes, I know. Especially the dumb catcher.
I think we've already talked about that on the podcast, but all right. Number 6 for the Ducks, Nathan Gauthier. He is the center, 20 years old. He was drafted number 22 overall in the first round in 2022 draft. Gauthier isn't going to be a big-time producer in the NHL, and that's okay. They have guys like that already. Instead, the rugged center brings a nice 6'3" frame, good footwork, and unrelenting forecheck that makes him so tough to defend against. As a bottom 6 forward, Gauthier is detailed oriented enough to play a variety of roles in the NHL, and he has a good enough shot to make himself useful too. I could see Gauthier playing in the NHL sooner rather than later, and I agree with that statement. He's someone that had a pretty great juniors career. He's definitely won. He's won 2 World Junior medals with Canada. He's won the CHL Memorial Cup, and then he also won the QMJHL that same year. I think Patrick Wall was his juniors coach when they won the Memorial Cup. So, like I said, someone that I'm excited for. He's definitely going to be more of a bottom 6 forward. Someone that's going to help you with like your penalty kill and like a checking line, so someone that I am pretty excited about, and so hopefully we could maybe see him in the next year or two. I wouldn't be shocked if we do see him this year, since he already has 1 year of in the AHL already with San Diego, and I think they're going to be a better team this year. God, I hope so, because they were terrible last year too. So let's just say I hope it's a better year for him and the goals this season. So someone I'm excited to see as well. And that is number 6.
Well, number 6 for the Kings prospect pool's another goalie, Carter George, 18, from Owen Sound of the OHL. He was drafted 57th overall in the second round of this last season's draft, 2024. His game is built around just keeping things steady and relaxed in the crease, and that's why he was listed as one of the top goaltenders all year long. At 6'1", another 6'1" goaltender, George is also on the smaller side, but he's as confident as they come in this year's class. Let in a bad goal, he's going to rob you on your next chance. Nothing seems to bother him. And he also sees through traffic well for a small keeper. I thought George was great at the U18s, especially in the medal round, even if his stats might not fully reflect it. From a skills perspective, he's clean, and I think he's got a real chance of being an NHL goaltender one day. I mean, he just got drafted, and that's how highly people speak of this kid. I mean, Mark Yannetti beamed about him on Kings of the Podcast when they were talking about the prospects and the draft. He just beamed about this kid, and that he is just something. So that's number 6 on the Kings prospect list, Carter George.
All right. Number 5 for your Anaheim Ducks is Lucas Pettersson, center and 18 years old. He was drafted 35th overall in the second round in the 2024 draft. As a centerman, Pettersson plays a stout two-way game and has really shown more confidence as the season has worn on. The U18 World Championship was an excellent opportunity for Pettersson to step up for Sweden, helping them win bronze after putting in some great performances in the playoff round. Pettersson can fly around the ice and has gotten better at using that to steal pucks in tight. He is also a solid penalty killer too. The good thing about Pettersson is that he can do a bit of everything out there, which makes him versatile option for the Ducks. He does play for the Modo Hockey in Sweden in the SHL. He played with them for 5 games last year, but he was mostly on their junior team. He had 44 games played, 27 goals, 30 assists for 57 points. Let's see what else. He, like I said, won the bronze medal there. So this is here his player type is a dangler, speedster, and a two-way center. Something that the Ducks kind of lack a little bit is also a good two-way center. And if you can have a dangler and a speedster type of two-way center, that's going to be scary. You know? So I think he's probably going to be like something similar to Lundestrom, but probably a little quicker and faster. So like I said, we probably won't see him with either San Diego or Anaheim this year. So he'll spend the next year with in Sweden, but that's probably for the best for his growth. So that is number 5, Lucas Pettersson.
Well, number 5 for the Kings prospect pool is Cohen Ziemer, right wing, 19. He'll be playing in the AHL this next year. And he was drafted 78th overall in the 3rd round of the 2023 draft. An ankle injury limited him to just 23 games where the Prince George Cougars last season. Yet he scored 11 goals and 31 points in 23 games. That's a big result for someone who had some question marks regarding his skating and overall fitness, resulting in a hard-hitting, skilled forward falling to 78th overall in 2023. He's now headed to Ontario. It's all about getting back on track for him, showing his consistency against older competition. I still think he needs to add another level with his speed and overall footwork, but there's some serious talent there for Ziemer to be an impact player in the NHL one day. kind of high praise. I mean, 2023 draft, just when we thought our pool was all depleted, there's some very strong things moving up in the prospect pool for the Kings. Number 5, Colin Zimmer.
Number 4, we got the Norwegian Nightmare himself, Stian Solberg. Left-handed shot defenseman, 18 years old. He was drafted number 23 overall in this last year's draft in the first round of 2024. The Ducks already have a couple of young puck-moving blue liners in their system, so adding Solberg, one of the most violent players in the 2024 draft, into the system is a nice win. He's 6'2", 205 pounds, and loves to punish anyone who gets near him. Solberg projects himself as a defensive defender who can handle penalty kill assignments, but he's also more than capable of playing heavy shutdown minutes against just about anyone. The fact that nothing seems to bother Solberg is exciting, especially given how much he improved this year. The move to Sweden will be a big win for Solberg's development. Like I said, the Norwegian Nightmare himself, someone who even went up to someone's nickname is the Butcher and said "F you."
Yeah, the F-bomb king.
F-bomb king. This is someone who I cannot wait
he was
to
funny
see
at the flock party, man.
I
He was
cannot
funny at the flock
wait.
party.
I cannot wait for this kid. I think, and I hate to say it, I'm more excited to see him a little bit more than Seneca. And I don't know.
Where did they get him in the draft? 23rd?
Number 23 overall. So he's a defensive defenseman, something that we desperately need. He's a heavy hitter and a PK specialist. So like I said, I see future top 4 minutes with him. He's probably not going to be a 1 or 2 on the top pair, but he'll probably be like a second pair defenseman. But God, I would not want to be on the ice when he's on the ice.
I do believe he was one of the 5 prospects in that tier that the Kings were interested in.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I think they could have had him, and they traded that away to Montreal because they knew there'd be others that they had in that same tier, and they didn't, and then when they got more for it, that's why they decided to do it. But I think if they would have kept that pick, he wouldn't probably been a Duck.
You're probably right.
I am not 100% on that, but I know he was very well liked by the scouting staff for the Kings.
Oh yeah, he was very well liked. I believe there was like 7 or 8 teams that were looking to get him around there. I know the Ducks weren't the only ones to try to trade up to get him.
Yeah, he was highly wanted.
Yes.
So
I said, and what a nickname, the Norwegian Nightmare. Ooh,
gotta love it. So
yeah,
I like fun names like that.
Yeah. So and he will be playing with Damian Clara in the SHL. It wasn't Denicio. It is Stan Solberg that will be playing with Damian Clara this year with Svarsted BK. So
let me get on to number 4 for the Kings. Another goalie, Eric Portillo. Goalie, 21. Last year played for the Ontario Reign. He was acquired by the Kings at the trade deadline in 2023. And they got him from the Buffalo Sabres just ahead of the 2023 NHL trade deadline. He wasn't going to sign with Buffalo. They had a logjam that they had, but he had a good chance to make an impression with the Kings organization, lacking a notable goaltender prospect just in 2023. His first year of pro was impressive, people. 24 wins, 11 losses, 3 overtime losses, with 2 shutouts, a .918 save percentage, and those were better numbers than his final year of college. How many players go up a level and improve on their stats? Typically doesn't happen. But he did. He also had some solid performance in the playoffs before Ontario was finally ultimately beat by Coachella Valley. At the time of this writing, no, this is not true. He was still seeking a contract of that writing of what the information I've gotten here. But he did sign a 3-year contract just recently with the Kings. So he's going to be part of their long-term plans. And here's the thing. He's 6'6", athletic. He's calm. There's a lot to like here. Third goalie in the top 10 for the Kings. Now you know why that was one of their strengths, which was a weakness really last year.
Yeah. I remember when they traded for him. I think I'm the one that told you about it. I'm like, I think this is going to be a big win for the Kings.
Yeah, definitely a big win for the Kings.
And he was he was the Michigan goalie too. Sorry, he played for Michigan. There you go.
Yes, I got what you meant.
Okay.
Yeah, he Michigan, which that was a pipeline for the NHL.
Mm-hmm.
Owen Powers, Kent Johnson,
Adam Fantilli.
Um,
Who else went there? It's a lot of players that go there.
Didn't Luke Hughes play one season there?
Yes, Luke Hughes. Yes, good.
I mean, you're talking a lot of NHL talent went to Michigan, and they won one, right? NCAA championship. That was it.
No.
Or did they not win at all? Because they were number one that one. Powers that year he went number one.
They lost to Quinnipiac that year. Never heard of that college until that that playoffs.
You want to find obscure college names? Look up hockey, because all the powerhouse teams aren't the teams you know. Michigan would have been a rarity there. You know, Minnesota has obviously always been, that's a hockey hotbed. But you got Denver.
Yeah,
Denver's a hotbed.
Minnesota, Duluth.
Yep, that's where Mikey Anderson went.
Yeah, like all the Ivy League schools, they're usually powerhouses when it comes to hockey. Like Harvard is a big hockey.
So you wonder why hockey players are smarter than the rest of the athletes and professional athletes. Most of them are all going to like highly respected and not the easiest college to graduate from. So hockey players aren't just brutes; they got brains.
Yep.
So let's go on to number 3 for the Ducks, Cody.
All right, top 3. We got the What the Duck man himself, Beckett Seneca. Right winger, 18 years old. Your 2024 number 3 overall pick in the first round. Seneca looked shocked that he was taken 3rd overall in the draft last month.
Oh my God.
What the
duck?
What the duck? After watching his draft stock skyrocket as the season wore on, was it a risky play for the Ducks? Maybe, but they're banking on him truly developing into this overwhelming forward who can score, hit, and outthink opponents with ease. He stands tall at 6'2", plays a menacing game built on power, and continues to hone in his abilities. And that's a huge win given his game was built on a highlight reel, ankle-breaking plays for so long. Add in muscle and the way he drives to the net, and it makes him extremely difficult to contain. Like I said, I am excited to have this guy too. I know I've said that many times, but like when your team has just been so bad for so long, and you get all these great prospects coming through, and you just can't wait to see them come to your team and play.
True.
So his player type is a dangler, playmaker, and they say two-way forward, but I don't know how much about that. But all I know is he definitely had either the best or the second best hands in the draft this year. Like, he can move the puck like no other. He was on the OHL second all rookie team. Last year he for the Oshawa Generals in 63 games he had 27 goals, 41 assists for 68 points. And I'm expecting him to even have a better year this year because he hit that huge growth spurt. So I think that was kind of he had something to adjust to. But now that I think he's used to his body, and after that growth spurt and everything, I think he's just gonna get even better this year. So I don't want him to be on the Ducks this year. If they did the whole 9-game thing and then sent him back, I can understand that. But I think it'd be better just to send him back to juniors, let him cook, bring him up next year at the end of this year. We'll see what happens, and we'll see, and we can go from there. So that is it for number 3. What the Duck himself, Beckett Seneca.
Oh my God. Number 3 for the Kings couldn't have a more different avenue than Beckett. Okay, number 3 for the Kings is Alex Turcotte, the 5th overall pick in 2019, who unfortunately has just been devastated by injuries, concussions, other injuries over the last basically 4 years. Last year was the first year in a while that he actually played more than 40 games. He split his time between the NHL and AHL, with his 29 points in 35 games in Ontario being his best production to date. He also scored a goal and 4 points in 20 games, marking the biggest game output of his career. Better yet, he played more than 40 regular seasons, like I said, for the first time since he split the 2017-18 season with USA Hockey's 2 national team development program squads. So here's the thing, people. This is one of the things. He's one of the players who can propel the Kings to possibly be better than last year. If he can come in and finally reach his potential, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I hope he does it. Not just because it makes the Kings better. He's a great kid. You could ask Trevor Zegras. He helped Trevor Zegras get MVP of the World Juniors back in 2000. That was 2020 or 19? 19?
He was drafted in 19.
So it was 2019 because they played in the World's Juniors that later that year in December. He was a center. Zegras played wing.
Yeah.
Along with Arthur Kaliev, which is another hopefully guy that, if him and the Kings can like each other again, that might be a difference maker for the Kings this year, or possibly he might be traded. But Turcotte, I pray that this kid goes out and just plays to his full abilities, because that's the promise. He is a two-way player. He'll do whatever it takes to win. Number 3, prospect on the Kings list, Alex Turcotte. Go Kings, go. On to Cody for number 2 for the Mighty Ducks.
Number 2, we got Olen Zellweger, left-handed shot defenseman, 20 years old, who has played for the Anaheim Ducks. I don't know how much more of a... I think he's still technically a prospect because he hasn't really fully finished his rookie year. But Zellweger got his first taste of the NHL this last year, playing in 26 games in the second half. just enough not to make him eligible for the Calder Trophy next year, which is a bummer. But he's set to challenge for a full-time roster spot for 2024-2025, where he'll look to be a notable offensive contributor and the way the Ducks wanted Drysdale to be. Zellweger could easily register a 30 points next year, especially if he gets the power play time he's capable of exploiting. A few young defenders cause so much damage as Zellweger does, and it's thoroughly entertaining to watch. Man, watching this kid just skate with the puck and see how, even in his own defensive zone, he's dangerous with the puck. Like he's been someone who every Ducks fan has been wanting to see and everything. Like since he's been drafted. I mean, this guy got traded for 11 draft picks in juniors. Wasn't it like 10 or 11 draft picks?
You got me on that one. I don't know.
Because I know he was with the Everett Silvertips, and he got traded to the Kamloops Blazers. I'll have to relook that up, but I want to say he got traded to Kamloops, and they sent like about 10 draft picks and everything just to get him. So last year with the goals, he played 44 games, had 12 goals, 25 assists for 37 points, and he was a -1. And that's how bad. And the goals were bad too, and he was still a -1. For the Ducks, in 26 games, he had 2 goals, 7 assists for 9 points, and he was a -6. But he was also on his off wing when he was playing up with the Ducks. So I think now that he's probably more comfortable playing up with the Ducks, he got the jitters out of the way and everything like that. I think this next season it's going to be lookout. Here's the Olin Zellweger show for the Ducks this year. And that is our number 2 prospect, Olin Zellweger.
So now to number 2 for the Kings. He was the 26th overall first-round pick in 2024, Liam Greentree, right wing from the Windsor Spitfires. He collected 36 goals and 54 assists for 90 points in 64 games. Windsor posted just 18 wins in 68 games, allowed 360 goals against, the highest in the OHL. Greentree's 36 goals led the Spitfires, with the winger quickly becoming the team's top player. He plays a power forward game using his 6'2", 198-pound frame to power past opponents and winning puck battles on a consistent basis. He saw a nice scoring uptick this year, and he knows how to put the puck in the net. There is an argument that he's even a better playmaker, but we'll see if that comes to fruition with better line mates. So the number 2 prospect, above all those goalkeepers, was their first-round pick this year. That's saying a lot for Liam Greentree.
That is saying a lot.
And dang, right wing. Could you imagine? I can't imagine him. He's going to have to play down, I think, one more season. But could you imagine somebody like that coming in and, being a right wing for the Kings this year? I mean, that could move LaFerriere down to play with Byfield and Fiala if he could play with Kopi and Kempe.
Do you think if he does join the Kings this year, do you think they're going to give him the 9 games?
No, and then I don't even think he'll play this year. I think just like what you said about Beckett.
Yeah,
I think he's better off playing. Yeah. One is on a terrible team, yet still 54 assists in 64 games on a team that couldn't play. he has to be a pretty dang good passer on a team that gave up 360 goals in 68 games. That's over 5 goals a game. They were
Yeah.
terrible. But Liam Greentree, number 2 on the Kings prospect list.
Yep.
Now we're going to be going to number 1s, Cody.
Our number 1. We got Cutter Gauthier, left wing center, 20 years old. We acquired him by trading Jamie Drysdale in a 2025 second round pick to get him. He was the 2022 fifth overall pick, I want to say, in the first round. And this is what they say about him. It's hard to call Gauthier a gift, given they had to trade one of their best young defensemen to make it happen. But the Ducks might now have the best prospect in hockey. Someone who put everyone on notice last year. The 20-year-old was named top forward at the World Junior Championship after leading the United States to a gold medal with the tournament-leading 10 assists. He then led the NCAA with 38 goals en route to a Hockey East Championship and a finalist spot for the Hobie Baker Award. With Gaudier's mix of confidence and skill, I have every reason to believe that he'll be a star sooner rather than later. And maybe he'll be one of the biggest reasons why Anaheim is challenging for a Stanley Cup before the turn of the decade. The biggest question to me is whether Gauthier slots down the middle or on the wing. He has a significant experience at both and has the physical traits you would look out for of a center, but I'd love to see him as a finisher on a line with Zegras or Carlson. Regardless, it's an excellent position to be in, and I have no doubt Gauthier will be challenging for the Calder Trophy in 2024-2025.
I'd say I would agree with that.
I agree 100% with that. Like I said, I was shocked when I heard the trade, but when I saw what we got, and I was like, okay, interesting. You know, I did like the trade, but I wasn't like blown out of the water. And then I did more research on Cutter. I'm like, holy moly, I think this is gonna be a better trade than I expected. And like I said, Verbeek definitely did some magic here, because look at the year this kid had in college. You know, he was definitely probably one of the most dominant players in the NCAA. I'm still surprised he didn't win the Hobie Baker, but we'll let that go. But like I said, I think he's definitely my top 3 favorite, I would say, to win the Calder this year. I think it's obviously Celebrini is going to be one, Will Smith is another, and then I think Cutter is going to be the next best one after that. But I think if Cutter is going to be on a line with Carlson and Killorn, and he's putting up good numbers, because they already had, I think him and Carlson are going to have great chemistry together, because I already know Carlson and Killorn have great chemistry. So I'm going to be excited if he can slot in with them, because at least he's going to be playing with already NHL talent. I don't know how much Celebrini and Will Smith are going to have playing with NHL caliber teammates and everything like that. But I think Cutter definitely has a good chance of winning the Calder this year and really helping the Ducks get out of being basement dwellers this year. I would like to be. I don't want to be bottom 5 anymore. If we're bottom 5, this is a fail year, for, in my opinion. I think we should be anywhere between, I want to say, realistically, 8th worst to like 13th worst. Like, I want to be in that area right there. If we could be better, then prove me wrong, please. So, but Cutter, welcome to the NHL, and I can't wait to see this kid play.
You
So
done?
that's it for number 1 for the Anaheim Ducks.
Well, my number 1 can't win the Calder this year, but I got to tell you, I'm most excited for him more than probably any other player that will be playing with the LA Kings this year. And that's Brandt Clark. He's 21. It's hard not to love his progression to this state. He's put up one of the most dominant runs ever seen by an OHL defenseman in 22-23. And he was scoring 4 or 5 points a game when the Kings sent him back to the juniors that year, which I know was disappointing for him. But he wasn't ready yet. Then he registered 10 goals and 46 points in 50 games as a rookie with the Reign. He also had 6 points in 16 games with the Kings last season, while looking increasingly comfortable the more he skated in the NHL. Named to the NHL's or the AHL's second All-Star team, there isn't much more for Clark to gain in the minors, beyond just adding more defensive awareness to his game. But for the most part, I think he's ready for the challenge for a top 4 spot while showing why he's one of the most exciting young defenders in the game. Now, to preface that, I want to just say I do believe he'll start on the third pairing. And I do believe he'll probably be on the number 2 power play. Although I could see where Spence might be there. Spence, his one biggest problem, he didn't score enough for the Kings last year for them to totally believe in him to be another power play guy. I mean, maybe he'll prove it all in camp, and maybe Clark will be a little bit slower to go. But the Kings are depending on young guys to take up the people who left. I mean, you're talking Victor Arvidsson, who is an incredibly talented NHL hockey player and playing for the hated Oilers now. I can say I'm mad about that, Victor, but I did appreciate all your years with the Kings. But we've lost players, and we need young guys to come in and fill. And that's how you build a strong team. You can't keep selling everybody to win. I mean, Tampa Bay did it pretty well. Kings haven't done it as well. They tried it. It didn't work. And I think they gave up too much for Dubois last year, and they've rectified that mistake. But Brandt Clark he could be something special, along with Turcotte, Kill Thomas, Samuel Fagemo, maybe even Andre Lee, Hellenius. We got so many guys that can come up and possibly help us. So, number 1 prospect for the Kings this year, Brandt Clark.
All right. Who are you most excited for the out of all your prospects?
Clark and Turcotte. If
Honestly,
Turcotte,
I hope Turcotte.
If Turcotte become a player that the Kings expect him to be, and Clark can just keep progressing, the Kings could be scary.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Tempe, he didn't have as many goals as he could have had. And look how, I mean, he's almost a point per game guy. Kopitar, Fiala, Byfield might be a point. I mean, how many players can a team have point per game? There's not that many that have it.
No.
And that's a possible 5 right there. And along with all those other, I mean, like Deneau, I love Philip Deneau, Trevor Moore led the team in goal scoring. They're going to be possibly third line.
Yeah.
Well, all right, really, I think second and third lines are interchangeable to me with the Kings. Well, and if you can say that, that's an exciting part of the game, is guys are interchangeable. I mean, you can remember, even though I wasn't always happy with you doing it, but when I coached you.
Oh,
You guys would be interchangeable and tell me to shut up and watch. And most of the time, you guys obviously you were much more knowledgeable about soccer than I was. I mean, but somebody had to be the coach.
well, it was just because I know exactly what you're talking about because it was me and Brendan would switch,
It
or
wasn't
me, or it
just
was me and who would switch. I don't know because like that year, everyone knew like I was the top forward for our team.
yeah. So
So
they double and tribute too, and then when
yeah,
you'd move back, they didn't know what to do.
yeah, they didn't know what to do. So because like I moved to the midfield because I know I thought I was a decent. I know I wasn't the best midfielder. To be honest, I thought I was just okay forward. I think I was just big and I had a shot. I think, and I was quick for my size, which threw a lot of people off.
Yeah,
And so, but like I said, at least I knew how to play midfield because you always taught me to try to play every position possible.
yeah.
And so I moved to the midfield, and then those teams didn't know what to do, and then I would send Francisco, or I think was it, or Brendan, or even TJ up, and then boom, we'd score, and then
Oh,
we would still find ways to
who was
win.
that other kid? The young kid that was good.
Guadalupe,
Guadalupe. I could not. I knew it started with a G. You
yeah.
know.
But like
Yeah.
I said, I know you didn't like it, but
Man,
that's just
we don't beat Riverside 1 if you guys didn't make that move
oh yeah,
because we scored late in that game, and that what's his name came up big in goal.
Nathan, yeah.
No, Nathan, he was sick.
Oh, Moises,
No,
Fabian.
Fabian played goal that game, remember?
Oh
And we put
right,
Moses back at stopper, which was where I wanted him, you know.
yeah,
But Fabian went to goal and was fantastic. I wish I'd have known that, but I liked him, and he was part of my midfield group.
yeah.
He was a great player there, but I mean, he played big there, you know.
And then after we scored that goal, me, Brendan, TJ, we all played. We literally played. God, we parked the bus. Pretty much is what we did. Is what they call in hockey terms. We like what Chelsea did that one year when they won champion. We parked the bus. We played defense, and all we did was we didn't move the ball up. We just booted it out just to waste as much time as we could.
Yeah, well, fun times, fun times.
Yeah,
But prospect pools, both teams, I think it's promising. Um, I have to admit, I think the prospect pool for the Ducks is stronger than the Kings right now.
yeah.
But I mean, we'll see how good Cutter. If Cutter can be as good as you think he is, then it's hard to find a really offensive, great defenseman like Clark.
Yeah.
So to me, that's a battle right there between those two. It's going to be fun to watch. I mean,
If the Ducks stay healthy, they're gonna. I'm not gonna say they're not gonna be basement dwellers this year. I don't expect them to be
well, they
bottom
weren't on
three
the
anymore.
basement last year.
No, but no, they were basement dwellers last year.
San Jose was on the basement. You were just above
Well,
the.
no,
You,
they were the basement floor.
yeah, you were standing in the water.
Yeah, we were. Yeah,
Yeah, and the basement, the basement's
Blackhawks
full
were
of
the
water.
water.
Yeah,
The Blackhawks were the water. Yeah, but I guess if the Ducks, all they need to really do is just stay healthy, and I think if everyone can play their game and how not Verbeek, Cronin wants them to play. Like I said, I think we won't be in the bottom. I don't want us to be in the bottom 10, but I think a lot of teams did get better,
scared.
and the Ducks really they like I don't think the Ducks needed to do a lot to get better. They just needed to be healthier,
Well,
and they got
that's a
some
big
good
aspect.
depth,
Yeah.
and they got good depth back and everything like that. So, like I said, with another year under to get the prospects going, I think this year is going to be a better year than the last 2-3 years, or I would say last 2 years, because the 1 year before the Ducks were actually in a playoff position at Christmas time, and then just went down. So
Yeah. Well, I I can see the promise you see. One thing I can see is I don't think Vegas is better.
I don't think so either.
Marchessault's gone. Stevens is gone. Alex Martinez is gone. You know, they lost Logan Thompson.
Yeah. And
I still can't believe how cheap the Capitals got Logan Thompson.
Oh God.
So I don't think Vegas is gonna. I think we have as every good a chance as Vegas, a better chance than even last year.
I still think Vegas has a little bit better of a team because I mean they still got Eichel, they still got Stone if he's not on the LTIR.
If he's in LTIR, they're
Pietrangelo,
not going to make they won't make the playoffs.
If Stone's
If
out,
that happens again, they will not make the playoffs. They need him to be playing a full season.
No, I agree.
So
but like they did pick up what's his name? Holtz from the Devils, but like I said, we've never seen him in the NHL before. Really.
So, well, anyways, we both have promise. I'm looking forward to this next season. I mean, even if we didn't make the playoffs, as long as, some of these young guys get better, Byfield improves. I mean, if I see improvement, I'll be excited about the team, and I'll cheer them on no matter what. I mean, I've been an Angel fan forever. God knows how bad.
You could be an Angel fan. You could be a fan of any team. It feels like.
Well, you have to hope you have owners that want to win. Unfortunately, I think that's the problem with the Angels. But anyways,
that's the one thing I do like about the Ducks and Kings. I like our owners.
Yeah, they're willing to open the checkbook to get better. So, but then again, you have to play with a salary cap, and it's a hard cap. It's not easy.
Yep.
But other than that, guys, this is September 1st. It's hard to believe we're this far in 2024.
We got 2 more weeks till the rookie face-off, which is why we're doing this rookie prospecting
this is part of this, but next week we'll be talking about hopefully the rosters for each team. So look forward to hearing the rosters. We'll try to have all the game times in with next week's podcast. Hopefully you guys find that as exciting as I do. I'm sure Green Tree's playing there. I know Cutter's
Seneca.
Seneca would probably play there. It'd be fun to watch those two go against each other. But Seneca's a center, and
Seneca's a winger.
Is he a winger?
Beckett Seneca's a winger.
The right wing or left wing?
Right wing.
Yeah, but he'll be going against the lefty.
Yeah.
Green Tree's a right wing too, so we got 2 right wing promising players for the future for each team.
Yep.
But please give us reviews on your and you're better at this part than I am. I'm gonna let you do it. I get tongue twisted with it. I'm gonna let him do it. Might as well give whoever does it best. Right?
Yeah, like that's why I like you doing the intro. I think you definitely do it best for that. But yeah, please leave us a review and a rating on Apple Podcasts and a rating on Spotify. I wish you can do reviews on Spotify, but it's just a rating system. I believe now you can make comments, and I think we can see them. Maybe, I don't know. I'll try to look that up. But please tell your family, friends, coworkers, and everyone, especially with hockey season coming up, or even someone that doesn't know anything about hockey, tell them to go check out our Hockey 101 series that we just finished. And if they have any questions, please tell them, feel free to message us. We have no problem helping anyone out. Just any chance we can grow the game of hockey and make it better for everyone, I'm definitely for it. Like we went on a double date last night, and the guy, he knows a little about hockey, but not really. And I was like, but he says he wants to go to a game. And I was told him, like, well, if we go to a game, I'll help you with I'll explain everything for you. So
yeah, I gotta tell you a shout out. You want to know who listens to us?
Who?
Dan Velez.
Oh, really?
Shout out Dan.
What up, Dan?
Listen to the podcast. I might send you a text saying you got a shout out from us on Royally Quack. He was at Ashton's wedding.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that was a
Well,
blast.
and congrats to
Congratulations,
Ashton.
Ashton.
Yep.
And Kayla. It was a beautiful wedding. You're off to Hawaii right now.
Oh,
I
Hawaii's
wish
nice.
I could be there with you, but you really didn't want me there.
No,
I know.
I don't think they want you there. Trust me.
Well, I would want to be there at the same time.
I know.
I don't care if I see you because it's so beautiful there.
Oh, it's so beautiful. You would love it, Dad.
Oh, I've been there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's only been 37 years since I've been there.
So before I was born, got it. So,
oh yeah, before your sister was born too.
Yeah. Don't forget to follow us on all your social media platforms, and please like and subscribe on YouTube. Hopefully, once we get everything figured out, we would like to start doing video podcasts for you guys, so you guys can see our ugly faces.
Oh my God. I don't want to scare them, Cody. Sorry.
All right, we'll just put a black screen over you, and I'll put a mask on. I'll put a Wildwing mask on.
Just put Chris Evans' mask on me.
Or like Deadpool and put Hugh Jackman's face right over. Just staple it over mine.
There you go.
All right, but guys, like I said, we enjoy doing this. Anything to, share our love for the love that we have for hockey and our teams. Yes. We love to share with everyone else. So
God bless you all.
Yep. All right. We'll see you guys next week, where we'll go over the rookie face-off lineups. So we'll see you guys next week, and just remember,
go Kings, go!
And let's go Ducks.
A father and son, a bond so strong, talking hockey all day long. Royally Quack, their podcast show, sharing stories, highs and lows. From the Kings to the Ducks they go. Shout and go Kings, go! Quack, quack, they cheer. A father and son, their passion sincere on the ice. Their love appears through the highs and lows in the years. The legends of Gretzky, Solana's grace, passing on history in every case. Father teaching son, a legacy shared. On Royally Quack, their stories aired. Face off in life, together they stand. Shout and go Kings, go! Quack, quack, they cheer. A father and son, their passion sincere on the ice. Their love appears through the highs and lows and the years. Like the legends of Gretzky, Solana's grace, passing on history in every case. Father teaching son, a legacy shared. On Royally Quack, their stories aired. Face off in life, together they stand. Shout and go Ducks, go! Go Kings, go! A father and son, watching the show. Through wins and losses, their spirits grow. On Royally Quack, they steal the show.